Alright, hello again everybody. This is Derek, and I am back with another Wargaming and miniature video. Alright, so we are continuing on with our assembling of the miniatures for this 28mm French starter army, plus a bunch of other things. Reason why we started a few minutes late was I got a bowl here, got some figures in it. Those are the metal miniatures. I had, before the stream started, I had washed the artillery pieces and the officers, and I thought I was done. And then when I came over here to get the stream started, I realized that there was the metal infantry command stand that was not washed. So I took this first few minutes to run and get the soap and water and actually scrub them down. So I'll pour these out in a little bit. And then we're going to glue backpacks on these guys and attach them to popsicle sticks before I start priming. Okay, the cavalry, I've got 2 cavalry units over there as well as like 5 or 6 artillery pieces. The cavalry, I think what I could do is take the horses while they're still on the sprue and prime them brown. And then the riders, the cuirassier, I don't know if I want to prime them gray or if I want to prime them white. And then I think gray. I think I'm going to go with gray. And then the lancers, I'm going to prime hunter green. Excuse me. All the while they're on their sprues. And then I'll assemble them maybe Thursday. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to point something out. So I had a commission to paint just one or two, I think is what he said, M4 Easy 8s, right? Which I didn't have any. So I agreed to do the commission. I told him it would be a while to get the Easy 8s in before I can work on them. Now, remember the guy that I was talking to yesterday about his impatience and how he is, I think he's only 12 years old, or he acts like it. Well, he basically sent me a message saying, if I don't hear back from you by this day, then I'm just going to assume you're not wanting to do my commission. Okay. That put me over the line. I'm just going to write him back, telling him, first of all, I don't like ultimatums like that. But I'm going to write him back saying, giving him a piece of my mind, basically. I'm going to tell him what is going on in my studio and why we were waiting and the amount of other commissions that I have. And I get a lot of messages every day. Sometimes I don't get to every message. I try to. I do try to. But when I get like 30 requests a day, plus I'm checking my X, I'm checking my Facebook, I'm checking my emails, I'm checking my eBay. I can't live on the internet. Specifically when I have to get projects done, right? So I'm going to let him know that I don't want his business. I basically am going to write him back saying, I've decided that you're too extra and I don't want to work with you. Yeah. If he was an employee, I probably would have fired him. Okay, so I'm opening up a box of dwarf heavy infantry, mainly because, as you know, I'm going to be doing some Oathmark miniatures in the future. I want to see what their base... I haven't opened this box up, so I don't know. I want to see what their base looks like. And I don't mean the square 25mm bases, even though these are awesome. What I'm talking about is, here we go. Come on, Dwarfin Sprue. Okay. I wanted to see the base on their feet. I wanted to see if these dwarves don't look like dwarves. They look pretty tall. That's cool. Let me switch out my glasses for something I can use to see with. Okay, and I don't have the chat widget turned on because I was in a rush to prime or wash those figures. Okay, so there is about 1mm or 2.5mm of base on the bottom of these dwarves. But it's not egregious. It's not like super big. I could probably still put them on the 3mm circles. 3mm thick. Yep. But maybe washers as well. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Alright, so that's going to be my first Oathmark, my official Oathmark unit. I got a couple of orders in. One of them was the M8s, obviously. Another one was my O Group rules actually came in. Really nice looking book. I've been working off of the PDF because I ordered the book and PDF combo. Okay, now here's quick reference sheets in the back, but luckily they provided a couple of laminated quick reference sheets. That's great. And I didn't know, this is an advertisement that's pretty exciting. I didn't know that Pendragon made World War II. I knew they did like Napoleonics. 10 mil though? 10 mil just reminds me of 6 mil. Just too small. If I was to ever do something in the 6 mil vein, I would probably do 10 mil instead. And they already have an advertisement for Victrix 12 mil in the book as well, which this book came out in 2020, or was, copyright 2020. When did they release the Victrix? Was it 2020 as well? It might have been. No, that's the last. No, I don't think the 12 mil is that old. That's 4 years, 5 years, 4 years old. I don't think so. Maybe though. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of all that. That's not me. Okay. My table over there is a mess. That table right there. It's a mess. I got a box of T-34s right there. It comes with like 21 T-34s. They're all going up for sale. This is the starter army I'm working with right now. Inside the box is the Perry heavy cab, which is the cuirassier. And then this is all the sprues for the Lancers and the cuirassier. This is the guns that I washed this morning, sitting over there drying. This is a stack of that's a stack of MDF boards that I cut out to do built up areas. This is a box of sprues and buildings that are going to be going up for sale. The sprues, I think, are 50 German 50 anti-tank guns. And the buildings are World War II 15 millimeter Sarissas. These two boxes here are some new spray paints that I got in. They have a new spray nozzle. I haven't opened them up to check, but Rust-Oleum has created a new spray nozzle that has multiple jets for doing different spray patterns. I'm excited to experiment with those, but those are all going to be like cream color or off-white eggshell, that kind of stuff for these World War II buildings when I get them in. And then there's some texture and some paint and some boxes over there. And there's some paint that I'm going to use to prime these French. White, gray, and hunter green. So let's get back to getting this all set up. Can't stop drinking. I'm drinking this pear nectar. It's like really thick. It's like almost syrupy. It's got a lot of sugar. Yeah, it's almost 100% sugar. Not really. But it does have added sugar. Maybe that's why I'm guzzling it. I'm a sugar addict. Okay, so one thing at a time. Here we go. Let's get these backpacks glued where they belong. And we can move on to the next step. Hopefully everybody... Oh, by the way, I got some new primer. It's a Vallejo white primer. Brush on. Or airbrush on. But I should be getting in a number of orders today. Okay, let me make sure that I cleaned these. I'm not sure if I did. Oh, that one looks... Yeah, they look clean. Now, the elites are obviously going to have a special backpack. Their backpack is the one with the additional sword. So I spent a couple hours last night going over the O group rules. Because like I said, I want to become proficient in the rules and be able to do a boot camp with knowledge, you know, not just... You know, just going at my boot camp without any knowledge. And now, I didn't get very far in the rules because I think I read the first 5 chapters twice. Just to make sure that I grasped everything. And there's a couple of things in the rules that are written in English, but I think it's the King's English because I didn't understand. I was like, what is he saying? You know, so I had to kind of wrap my head around what was trying to be said. It's well written, don't get me wrong, it's well written and well organized. Well, I'm not going to say it's well organized, because I noticed that a rule would be in one spot, and then there would be an overlap of that rule in another spot. But luckily, it says refer to rule, and then it gives you the location. Something about O group that I want to point out, and I'll point it out when I do my boot camp rules review. But for you guys, you get a heads up. O Group is written, or I should say organized, a lot like old Avalon Hill board games. I don't know if you... I bet you the author played a bunch of Avalon Hill board games. You know, like Third Reich, Squad Leader, Tactics 2. And I say that because the chapters have a number, right? 1 through whatever, 25 or something. And the individual paragraphs all have numbers. So like if you're looking at the first paragraph of chapter 5, it would be 5.1. Or if you're looking for like the third paragraph of chapter 7, it would be 7.3, right? I think that's what I said. But so it makes finding the rules way easier. Because like if you know that building a battalion is chapter 5, I'm just pulling this out of my ass. Then all you have to do is go to rule 5 point whatever. And if part of that battalion is like building supports, and maybe that's the 7th paragraph, and somewhere else in the rules, it might say you can add supports as explained in 5.7. And I'm like, that's pretty damn cool. So it's going to make it easy to find rules. Because I loved the way the Avalon Hill did their board games. Napoleon's Battles which was an Avalon Hill game, did exactly the same thing. But they broke it down into even deeper, like let's just say road movement is 7.5. I'm just making stuff up. But dirt road movement is 7.5.1. And let's say artillery using a road is 7.5.1.1. Right? Napoleon's Battles really broke it down. Which made for finding something hard. Because the idea of breaking it down by points, being able to find whatever you wanted, was good. But when you break it down too far, I felt it had a negative effect. But I guess I survived because I learned those rules pretty quickly and mastered them pretty quickly. But O Group does that as well. But they only go to the first bullet point. They don't go deeper. Not that I've noticed. I think I mentioned yesterday that I've got a problem with O Group. I think the rules work exceptionally well. I think the rules let you get the feel of a battalion on the an infantry battalion on the attack or the defense. And I think it accomplishes that really good. Plus, the rules are very easy to understand so far. And not just understand, they're easy to... the mechanics are very easy to understand. And I feel that if I was to take an O Group scenario to a convention, I think we would be playing within the first 5 minutes. Right? I don't think people would struggle with the mechanics of the game. They might not understand them right away, but after 2 or 3 turns, they would be all over it. I think. Because remember, not every rule is used in every game. Because if you don't have a certain type of troop, then you don't have to worry about the rules that involve those types of troops. But my problem with O Group is it does what it contains very well, but there's a lot of things that it doesn't contain. Specifically, armor formations. The game's not designed to be an armor battalion game. It doesn't have any rules for like amphibious landings, airborne operations, night. I haven't seen any rules for nighttime. Or paratroopers. Well, there is one rule for paratroopers, but it's very vague. Not that you have to play with paratroopers, but a lot of interesting battles involved paratroopers. Not all of them, of course, you know. Okay, this pack doesn't want to go on. Hold on. Let me just hold it for a second. So what did I do last night? I did something I told myself I didn't want to do. But I couldn't resist. I just did it anyway. I went to Forged in Battle and I ordered a U.S. paratrooper platoon. And heavy machine guns. Hoping that it's an M2, but I don't think it is. I think it's going to be the 30 cal water cooled. I already have some 30 cal water cooled Old Glory. But I don't know if I have any. I don't know if there's paratroopers. Might just be regular infantry. Because I did already order a Flames of War paratrooper platoon as well. Well, not really. I ordered the Hit the Beach expansion, which has paratroopers in it. And 105s. Now I've got paratrooper artillery gun crew already, so I can just take those 105s and give them paratrooper crews. I thought about getting some Pack 75s. But I don't anticipate getting those miniatures in like for a couple of weeks. So my American paratroopers are going to be put on hold until I get all those figures in. Which will give me time to finish this mission, hopefully. Okay, so we got all the elites over there done. Now, I gotta make sure these packs are clean. Okay, I mentioned also my cork board, cork sheets that I ordered. I got them in and I thought they were way too thin, right? I did a little review of what I had ordered last night, and I see that I made a mistake. I ordered 2mm cork, which I thought I had ordered 1/8 inch, which is 3mm. But I didn't order 1/8 inch. I ordered 2mm. So I said, crap. Let me go find some 1/8 inch or 3mm cork sheets and reorder those. I'm sure I can put the 2mm stuff to use somewhere. Most likely foundational. I can cut it and make little foundations. Like I did my Roman buildings. So I found some 3mm, but at the same time, that 3mm company was offering 4mm, 5mm, and 6mm. Well, it had 2 to 6, basically, I think. And 6mm is just a 1/4 of an inch, which I already have, and I can tell you it's way too thick. And I thought to myself, well, 5mm isn't going to be much thinner than that. It's going to still be probably way too thick. But 4mm caught my eye. And I was like, I could do 4mm. So I ordered some 3mm and some 4mm. It's cheap. It's like $6. So I figured, let me order both. It's not going to hurt anything, you know. And then let me take a look at them. And then going forward, I'll know exactly which one I need. Or which ones I can recommend to you guys. Okay, all these packs have a little burr on the side where they were attached to the sprue, and that's what I'm cutting off. Because I don't want to glue them on and then have that burr sticking out. I thought about this this morning, that I'm calling these live streams in the morning where I do work on miniatures live. I'm calling them Wargaming Weekly because about a year ago when I started this stream, I had planned to only do it once a week. And not 2 or 3 times a week. So I've almost thought about it. Maybe I should be calling these Wargaming Dailies. Because I get on here for about 2 to 3 hours every day, it seems like. Except for Wednesday. I could still get on Wednesday. It's just that I do a little campaign prep on Wednesday for my Wednesday night stream, which is Traveler. Sometimes I don't stream on Fridays. That's why I say about 3 times a week. And I had originally started streaming at 11. Went from about 11 to 1. Because that gave me enough time in the morning to get everything ready, to get whatever figures I needed to get, you know. Take care of any store business that I need to take care of. Basically, it just let me get prepared for the stream. And I wound up getting prepared and ready to go much earlier. And so over time, the streams have been starting earlier and earlier. But as like today, I ran into something where I wasn't ready. I thought I was ready until I got ready to sit down. Then I realized I wasn't ready. Now, unlike the heads, the backpacks are all 1-to-1. You get one backpack for every torso. I've got a bunch of extra heads in there. Am I going to save them sometimes I put them in a Ziploc bag and put them on the shelf because you never know when you might need a head. But I think I'm not going to do that. I find myself being a hoarder. I hoard bits and pieces and parts that I'll never use. I was going through my World War II stuff the other day, and I had all these like truck canvas tops from Roco trucks. Remember those? Maybe you don't. Roco has a series of... Okay, Roco is an HO company. They make, I think it's German. They make vehicles, trucks, trains, stuff for model railroading in HO. But they have this line called mini tanks. And they're basically HO tanks, either modern or World War II. And when I was playing Command Decision originally, I was playing it in 1/72nd. And Roco mini tanks were compatible. I think I still have an M8 running around from Roco. Maybe it's an M20. But it's an American armored car. I think I have it somewhere. But I had all these machine guns and canvas tops for Opel Blitzes in a tray in a box somewhere. And I was like, I'm never going to use these. Why am I saving these? You know, I'm never going to. Now the machine guns, maybe. Actually, I probably will, actually, now that I think about it. But still, they're too big. They're like 1/87 scale. When I'm playing in 15s. And if I was playing a bigger scale, like Bolt Action or something, I usually play that in 28 millimeter. So those guys would be way too small. They would be great for 1/72nd gaming. But I'm not doing that. I've also got a huge amount, and I mean huge. I probably have like 50 HO buildings out in the garage. In various states of disrepair. Some of them are probably, well, I know a lot of them are deliberately, they're like rubble or burnt down houses and stuff like that. Because there was when I lived in Berlin, there was this model railroading store that I used to go to a lot. And they would have second-hand model railroading buildings for sale for like 2 or 3 marks a piece. And I would go in there every couple of weeks just to see if they had anything new. So I would consider myself a regular. I would also buy 1/72 or 1/76 scale, because you had those. I think it was Matchbox makes 1/76 scale. The difference is so subtle that it's not really that big of a deal. But I would buy, and I specifically remember buying a German half-track, the 251, and when I opened it up to assemble it, I pulled the decal sheet out, and there were pieces of the decal sheet that were cut out. Like it was missing. And now this box that I bought was shrink wrapped. So it had to have been done at the factory. Or somebody did it and then re-shrink wrapped it. But I was like, what's missing? What's cut out? And I go to look at the instructions where it shows the decal placement, and there's portions of the vehicle cut out. And I was like, what gives? Well, later I found out that, and this is sad. This is very this is back in the 90s, right, when I was doing that. This is a sorry state of affairs. Germany, because that's Berlin, has a law against owning, displaying, selling swastikas. The country is embarrassed by the symbology of what happened in World War II and the cross. That's fine. Any other of the German army symbols, like divisional markings or whatever, those are all perfectly fine. But if it has a swastika on it, it could not be sold in Germany. And I understand why they're sad about it, or why they are embarrassed or apologetic, or I get that. I understand that, but it is history, right? And you're deleting history. in my opinion, they should, instead of deleting it, they should educate what that symbol meant in World War II. I mean, it's not... That symbol is older than World War II. The symbol's like a religious symbol for barbarians or something. I don't remember exactly. But it didn't originate from the Nazis. But don't brush it under the rug. Don't not talk about it in school. You know, you should say, during World War II, you know, Hitler came into power. And why? Explain why, because there was a legitimate reason why he came into power. You know, the Germans felt like they were being penalized for World War I, and there was trade embargoes and all this stuff. And Hitler was a people's person. Explain that, you know, the German people got duped, you know, into believing his rhetoric. And this was one of the symbols of his political party. Which is frowned upon. You know, it's... You know, it had ties with the Holocaust and all that, basically, right? Educate. Don't delete it. Because what they're doing is they're pretending it never happened. Like, swastika? What's a swastika? I don't even know. And the kids, you know, they're not being taught that. I don't know. I'm not in their school system, so... Yeah, I went from buildings to swastikas. But that's how I learned about that whole situation in Germany. Okay, no more cutting, so I don't need this little thumb cozy. So news, I got an email from Offensive Miniatures. Looks like their World War II line, they're expanding into the Russians. It looks like they're going to be revealing them at Salute this year. So if you're going to Salute, check out Offensive Miniatures. They're going to have some exclusive miniatures for Salute. They like to do like a limited edition a model or two. They do it every year, I think. Offensive does a really good job with their models too. I have a bunch of their British Paras and German SS and German SS. I'm not sure if it's got British Para, US Para, all the Paras. I think they have Polschemjägers too. I think that's the other one I've got. Speaking of which, I don't think I've done any what's in the boxes this year. First 3 months, not one what's in the box. I don't think. I might have had one or two squeeze in there, squirt. I've been just too busy doing so many different things. Either working on my own projects or missions. Last night I had a realization that I don't have any Stugs in my collection, my 15mm stuff. How can I not have a Stug? Right? That's like the most prolific armored vehicle. I've got Panthers and Panzer IVs, and I even have Tigers. I got all the varieties of half-tracks and trucks and Maltiers, but not one Stug. I even have Jagdpanzers, like Jagdpanzer 4s and 5s. How can I let myself get away with that? Oh, there goes my nose. Just started running like crazy. Okay. I think it's the glue. So over the next couple of days, when I'm in between assembling or painting these French, I've decided I'm going to clean off the table. That's why I showed it to you guys. This afternoon, after the stream, I'm going to go through and clean that table, put everything away where it belongs, which I've been lazy, been putting it off. But I'm going to do that because I want to work on my roads and fields. As I figured I can work on roads and fields even if I don't have those buildings from battle scale. Now I don't remember where I got those MDF 10 mil buildings. I don't remember where I got those. Wasn't Litco. I don't think. I don't think Litco does anything smaller than 6 mil. I'm sorry, anything smaller than 15 mil. I don't think it was TT Combat. Yeah, it's not TT Combat. Their MDF buildings are very plain. Oh, and I counted the buildings from battle scale. I thought I was getting a dozen buildings. Well, that's a lie. I'm getting like, if I counted right, it was like 25 buildings or something like. No, it can't be. That seems really high. For some reason, 25 is in my head. But I don't think that's right. I got a pack of 7 buildings as a bundle. There's a 7 building bundle. And then I added on to that. Let me visualize. Yeah, maybe about 15 buildings. I don't think. I don't know why I'm thinking 25 buildings. Now, War Bases has, or maybe it's, wait, there's Battle Scale, War Bases. Yeah, maybe it was war bases that had buildings. But these aren't 15 millimeter. And they're like MDF kits. You get them in, you assemble them. Crap, I don't remember where I got them. Pendragon? I might have got them from Pendragon now that I'm... Maybe? All right, well, this is going pretty smooth. This is going like... But with the battle scale buildings coming in, I don't think I need any more 10 mil buildings. I have a few N scale buildings, not a whole lot, half a dozen or so. And I could see, and I'm going to throw those in. I might have to put some paint on them because I think they're colored based on the color of the plastic. You know, it's like you buy a model railroading N scale building and it comes with brown plastic roof and a white plastic side and a cup like a gray door. And when you glue it all together, it looks like it's been painted, but it hasn't. And it looks kind of they look artificial or plasticky, I guess is what the word. So before I start attaching them to my town sectors, I think I'm going to prime them and paint them. Give them a little texture and weathering and stuff like that. So the roads. I'm debating in my head, in my heart of hearts. I'm trying to decide how big or how wide I want to make these roads. Hey, welcome back. I think, okay, because the roads that I'm going to be making are for my World War II 15 millimeter. Um, Now, could I use these roads with ancients or American War of Independence or Napoleonics or whatever? I sure can, but the primary focus of these roads is going to be my 15 millimeter World War II. So, 15 millimeter World War II, I don't know how wide I want to make these roads. And I think I want to make some with shorter lengths, like not all of them 12 inches. I think I want to do some that are 6 inches. I know for a fact I want to do some intersections and some curves. They can all be, for the most part, straight. I don't need any squiggles, you know. They can be straight, but I want intersections and I want curves. Okay, it sounds like it's extremely windy outside. I'm hearing we've got like a couple of blankets outside covering a couple of things, and I can hear them flapping in the wind. So I've been thinking an inch and a half. I've also been thinking 2 inches. And I've been thinking 30 millimeters or 40 millimeters. So I've been thinking a lot of different thoughts. Those are the, and 1 inch too, by the way. But yeah, that's the size that I've been kind of trying to debate. 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 30 millimeter, or 40 millimeter. Now I don't want it to be, I want it to be wide enough that the widest tank would be able to go down the road. And I think I want it to be just a little bit wider but I don't know. Now 40 millimeters is extremely wide. That's extremely wide. But I was thinking that if I had a towed gun, let's say a Pack 40 or like a Pack 40, I think I want to make the road at least as wide as the base so that it could be towed down the road. Between fences or hedges or even buildings. So 40 millimeters might be the way to go. .40 millimeters is just about an inch and a half, a little bit over an inch and a half. Because 2-inch is 50 millimeters. And I think 2 inches is just too big. But I think my artillery bases are 2 inches. So if I wind up doing 40 millimeters or an inch and a half, I think I'm going to put a thin line of grass along the edge. So the road will actually look thinner. The actual piece I'm putting on the table will be an inch and a half, but the road itself will probably only be like an inch and a quarter or something like that. Now remember, these are the roads that I'm making for myself. Roads, I've seen, or I had this idea, and I've seen other people make roads with no grass on the edges, so that you can use it in any terrain. You can use it in the desert, you can use it in the snow, you can use it in the jungle, you can use it in the mountains, and it'll always match your grass because there isn't any. Another advantage of not having grass along the side is that if you ever needed to put a road up against another road, you could, and there wouldn't be like this line of grass. It would all just be dirt. But I am planning on making intersections where I won't have to rely on that. Okay, there we go. So there's going to be 5 battalions of 24 figures. So that's almost 125. It's 120, right? Minus 5. Yeah, 120 just infantry, not counting the cavalry and the artillery and the officers. Yeah, the cavalry and the artillery, I think I'm going to paint as a second wave. I think I'm going to do first wave infantry, second wave cavalry and artillery. That way I won't get overwhelmed with too many models on the table. And having it slow me down. So those grass tufts that I put on my field battalion that I mentioned that I loved, right? I thought they were really nice looking tufts. I went in and noticed that they offer 4 different sets. Actually, no, I think it's 6 sets. Different colors and different, not different sizes. They're all, well, there's 2 sizes. There's the wild tufts, the ones with the like a variety of different patterns and shapes, where then there's the traditional tufts, which are just little patches of grass in a small circle or whatever. So I ordered another one of those wild packs, because that was my original pack, was one of those wild packs, but I ordered it with a different color. I think it's a little bit darker brown or a little bit darker green, like maybe an olive green or something. I don't know, but it's hard to tell in the pictures. But I love the first set so much, I said I'm going to order another set, and we're gonna vary it up a little bit with the color just to see what it looks like. Really, dude? I had you good, and then you just wanted to jump off of there? That should also be in today. I'm expecting those tufts in today. The 2 sizes of cork should be in today. Got a Hobby Link order coming in. I don't think it's today. Flames of War order. Waiting on. Forged in Battle. Waiting on. Battle Scale. War Bases. Seems like I've got a lot of boxes coming in. Litco. Nope, I don't have a Litco order in. Don't have a Sarissa order. Now I've got some sprues for Stugs. I might pull a sprue. Yeah, 2 inches is just too big for a road. So now, like my Napoleonic table that I worked on, I did 30 millimeter roads with 5 millimeter borders for a total of 40 millimeters. And I think that'll work out really good for my Napoleonics and American War of Independence, because all those bases are 40 millimeters wide. and they'll basically be on a 30 millimeter road, but they'll be riding along the grass along the edges. But I think a 30 millimeter road would look really good in World War II. Yeah, I really do. I think 30 millimeters is just perfectly fine. What is that, an inch and a quarter? I think 30 millimeters is pretty close to an inch and a quarter. Just under an inch and a quarter, it looks like. So if I make my roads 40 millimeters and then put a grass edge along the outer side, make the roads look like 30 millimeter roads, I think that'll be good. But if I just cut it at 30 millimeters and then put no grass, I think that'll work too. Oh, yeah, okay. Hold on. I got a little epiphany. Remember when I was talking about hedges and walls and what size base to put them on? And do I want them to be pushed up flush against the road? Well, I think the answer is no. Not using this glue. Yeah, these guys are still wet. But standard drummer officer. Guy could be a standard. Why is there a bugler? Hold on, what's going on? Isn't the bugle for light infantry? Standard musician officer. Standard musician officer. Standard musician officer. Now, one of these, and I think it's this one, one of my add-ons that I added for him. Apparently one of his battalions is going to have a bugler instead of a Hey, there's a ton of officers here. I need a 5th standard. Okay, it's got to be him. Five standard bearers, 5 musicians. And there's only 9 officers. That's okay. Yeah, that should be okay because I added 5 troops. And that'll take the place of the extras. Yep, and I've only got 4 eagles, but I've got a 2nd Battalion Panion or 2nd Battalion Final. These guys have got to be cleaned up a little bit, but they're wet. I don't want to mess with them while they're wet. Oh, we got some comments. What do we got here? Line infantry. Yes, they are. They are line infantry. And it is recommended that the size of the model be determined by the size of the storage cabinet. Yeah, larger the model, more detail will be required. Yeah. Well, that's true. All of that is true. Oh, look at that guy. Look at that chunk of metal on the bottom of his base. We have to cut all that off. Yeah, I'm going to push these to the side. And we'll be doing that later. I'm going to have lunch. And then after lunch, I'm going to clean up my table so that I can start working on those roads and fields. And by that time, these guys should all be dry and I can start working on them. All right, guys. Well, that's where we're going to call it for today. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with me for a couple hours. But I am getting hungry for lunch. I need to get some something in me. It looks like this Easy 8 tank platoon. I'm not going to personally need all these Easy 8s. I might need 2 of them. So the other 3, when I wind up actually putting these together and painting them, they'll be going up on the store. I could just put the sprues on the store temporarily until I get ready to until I get ready to paint them. I'm going to open this up. It says all plastic. That's another thing. My 2 garbage cans that I use, one at my one at my desk and then one at my table, they're both full. I'm going to have to empty those out too. This or this? Okay, right. Something is optional. Oh, all the storage around the sides of the tank. Well, you get your obligatory bubble wrap. Packed by Delaw, 21 Delaw, whoever that is. Anything in there? No. I'm double checking to see if there's a Ziploc bag. It looks like there is. That's what I'm digging for. Okay. Can I reach it? I cannot. Ah. Here we go. Stars. I needed those. Tank commander, is that what I'm looking at down here? Got a couple of tank commanders. If I wanted to use them. Okay, there's 2 types of machine guns. It's showing the commander's machine gun, but then it's showing an optional, another machine gun that could go. That could go right there in the center of the turret. Yeah. Yep, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't see any problem with putting these together and painting them. I could probably do that. I could probably do all 5 of these in one day. Assemble, prime, and paint. Because American tanks are easy. Basically, you paint them olive drab and you're done. Not exactly, but. Yeah, this doesn't show any of these tanks with that secondary machine gun. Or with the up-armored plates, or the storage along the sides. These are all just generic basic tanks. Just clean old M4 A3 E8. Right? That's what they're supposed to be. This just says M4 Easy 8. But it is an A3 E8, right? I don't know. Either way. I'm glad I just wanted to check to see if it had decals. Alright guys. I will catch you maybe tomorrow, but look forward to me definitely being back on here Thursday, but I might be on tomorrow. I am starving. I gotta get something to eat.